Gangs might be exploiting loopholes in the immigration system. A purported insider at the Department of Homeland Security reveals the details to Project Veritas. NTD's Grace Coulter has the story.
He has 37 crimes against him, including at least 3 against a child, and he's still entered in the United States and working.
A source claiming to be a DHS insider tells Project Veritas founder James O'Keefe that migrant gang members are evading deportation from the U.S. by exploiting a section in immigration law called reasonable fear. The insider claims some are even being given temporary U.S. work permits. According to the American Immigration Council, to demonstrate a reasonable fear, a migrant must show there's a reasonable possibility that they'll be persecuted or tortured if removed from the country. The standard applies to people who illegally re-enter the country after being deported and non-citizens with criminal convictions. But the insider calls this a giant loophole being used by gang members to enter and stay in the U.S. He claims once a migrant gang member makes the declaration of, "My life is in danger and I may be harmed if I return home," they're taken off the transnational organized crime watch list. Whilst demonstrating reasonable fear doesn't grant asylum, it can allow asylum seekers to stay in the U.S. before their claim is heard, a wait that can take years. The insider said the gang members' claims aren't genuine. He said, "It's almost like they are coached. Hey, if you get caught, just go ahead and say this." The insider provided documents to back up his claims. He says this migrant claimed reasonable fear to stay in the country. The documents appear to state he was identified as belonging to the 18th Street Gang, which may be involved in sex trafficking. The migrant was also applying to become a sponsor of an unaccompanied migrant child. The DHS insider said his main concern is that sex traffickers are and will continue to exploit this law. He said children are especially vulnerable to being victimized. He says to him, "This is a bigger problem than terrorism is right now within the country. Every single one of these transnational criminal organizations are involved in sex trafficking." NTD reached out to the DHS for comment, but they didn't get back to us before airtime. Grace Coulter, NTD News.